At Thanksgiving dinner, my husband's family handed out gifts to everyone but me. His mother smirked. We just forgot about you. My husband laughed along with them. I smirked back and said, That's okay. I didn't forget about you. Their smiles faded as they opened my gift and realized what it meant. My husband, Mark, is close to his family, and by his family, I mean his mother and two sisters. They're a tight little trio, and I've never been able to break into their circle. I've been married to Mark for 6 years, and in all that time, I've been treated like an outsider. It started small, little things, like how they would plan family trips and forget to invite me, or how, at every gathering, they would reminisce about things from before I came along, making sure I had nothing to contribute. Bianca, my mother in law, was the worst. She had a way of smiling at me while cutting me down, a way of excluding me so casually that if I ever complained, I would look crazy. My sisters in law, Kendall and Kylie, were just as bad. They followed Bianca's lead, throwing in their own snide comments whenever they could. Mark always told me to ignore it. He never defended me, never called them out, never told them to stop. He would just laugh and tell me I was overreacting, and I let it slide because I loved him. Thanksgiving was always at Bianca's house. She loved hosting. She would spend weeks bragging about her handmade centerpieces and her famous stuffing. It was always a production. Every year, I told myself that this time would be different. I told myself that they wouldn't make me feel invisible. I was wrong. We arrived at her massive, perfectly decorated Connecticut home in the late afternoon. The house smelled like cinnamon and turkey, and everything looked like a Hallmark movie. Bianca had outdone herself. The moment we stepped in, I felt that familiar feeling, like I didn't belong. Kendall and Kylie greeted Mark with big hugs, then turned to me with polite little smiles that didn't reach their eyes. Bianca barely acknowledged me. Mark, of course, didn't notice. Dinner was fine. At least, as fine as it could be when I had to listen to Bianca talk about Kendall's promotion and Kylie's new house while ignoring me completely. I kept quiet. I smiled when appropriate. I didn't let them see how much it bothered me. But then, after dinner, Bianca clapped her hands together. Before dessert, we have a little surprise. Every year, Bianca did a Thanksgiving gift exchange. It wasn't really an exchange, it was more of a performance. She loved playing the role of the generous matriarch, handing out gifts to show how much she loved and appreciated her family. One by one, she handed out presents: a designer purse for Kendall, a spa gift certificate for Kylie, a bottle of expensive whiskey for Mark. Even the grandkids got new toys. Everyone in the family received something. Everyone but me. Bianca turned to me with a smile. Oh, we just forgot about you. And then she laughed. So did Kendall. So did Kylie. And then the worst part, Mark laughed too. It hit me like a slap. Years of biting my tongue, years of being ignored, years of being treated like I wasn't worth remembering. And Mark thought it was funny. I felt a wave of something cold and sharp settle inside me. I smiled back. That's okay, I said. I didn't forget about you. The laughter stopped. I reached into my bag and pulled out a small, neatly wrapped box. I handed it to Bianca. Her smile faltered. She hesitated before taking it, glancing around as if expecting some kind of trick. The room was silent. Go ahead, I said. Open it. Bianca peeled back the wrapping paper slowly. Inside the box was a thick stack of papers. She frowned and pulled them out, scanning the first page. Her face changed. The color drained from her cheeks. She flipped to the next page, then the next. Her hands started shaking. Kendall leaned over. Kylie, too. They read over her shoulder, and then I saw it that moment of horror when they realized what it was. Their surprise. Bianca's business, her beloved catering company, was in trouble. I knew because I had spent the last few months looking into it. Bianca had been underreporting her income for years. She had been hiding money, claiming losses that didn't exist, and dodging taxes in ways that were very illegal. And I had proof, all neatly compiled, all carefully documented, all ready to be sent to the IRS. Bianca looked up at me, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. "Where did you get this?" she whispered. I took a sip of my wine. "Oh, I had some time on my hands while you were busy forgetting me." Bianca's husband snatched the papers from her hands. His face turned red as he read through them. "Bianca, what the hell is this?" Kendall and Kylie started flipping through the pages, their expressions going from confusion to panic. "Mom!" Kylie's voice was shaky. "What is this?" Bianca didn't answer. She couldn't, because she knew. She knew exactly what it was. She knew that her entire business, her livelihood, her perfect reputation, it was all about to go up in flames. Mark just stared at me. He wasn't laughing anymore. No one was. And I wasn't done yet. The room was dead silent, except for the sound of flipping pages and sharp, panicked breathing. Bianca's hands trembled as she clutched the papers. Kendall and Kylie looked at their mother like she was a stranger. And Mark? Mark just sat there, frozen, staring at me like he didn't recognize me. I let the silence stretch, savoring it, letting them feel the weight of what had just happened. Then Bianca did what Bianca always did when she was cornered. She went on the attack. "You little bitch," she hissed, voice shaking. "You don't know what you've done." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, I think I do." She turned to Mark, grasping for control. "Are you just going to sit there? Do something." Mark blinked like he was waking up from a dream. His mouth opened, then closed. His eyes darted from me to the documents. Then he said the worst possible thing. "Why would you do this?" Not to his mother, to me. Like I was the one who had just humiliated him. Like I was the one who had crossed a line. I felt something inside me snap. Bianca saw it. She must have, because her expression twisted into a triumphant smirk. She thought I would fold. She thought Mark taking her side would make me feel small. She thought wrong. Bianca slammed the papers down on the table. "This is fake. You made this up." Kendall, still staring at the numbers, looked up. "Mom, this looks real." Kylie flipped through the last page, her voice hollow. "These are tax forms." "No!" Bianca snapped. "This is a setup. You set me up." I smiled. "Oh, honey, you set yourself up." Her hands curled into fists. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. "Did you think I wasn't paying attention all these years?" Bianca gasped, like I had hit her. "Did you think I wouldn't notice how you treat me, how you laugh at me, how you exclude me?" Mark shifted uncomfortably. His sisters wouldn't meet my eyes. Bianca opened her mouth, but I kept going. "You've been committing tax fraud for years, Bianca. Sloppy, too." Her husband, who had been silent this whole time, spoke up. "How much trouble is she in?" I tilted my head. "If she fixes it fast, maybe just fines. But if the IRS really digs in," I clicked my tongue, "it could be bad." Bianca's face went pale. Her husband rubbed his forehead. "Jesus Christ, Bianca." Mark finally seemed to realize how serious this was. "Mom, what did you do?" Bianca snapped. She turned on me, eyes blazing. "You ungrateful little, I let you into this family. I fed you. I laughed. Actually laughed. Let me into this family?" I repeated. "Bianca, you forgot about me tonight. On purpose. Just like you've been doing for 6 years." She had no defense. And then came the twist I didn't see coming. Kendall suddenly slammed the papers down. "How did you know to look into this?" she asked. I raised an eyebrow. What? Kylie's eyes narrowed. No one just digs into someone's taxes. You had to suspect something. A weird feeling crept into my stomach because they were right. I hadn't started looking into Bianca's finances because of the petty insults. I had done it because of something else, something I wasn't supposed to know. Bianca was hiding money, and not just from the IRS. She was hiding it from someone else, too, her own family. And that's when I realized Bianca wasn't just committing tax fraud, she was stealing from them. Kendall and Kylie started flipping through the papers again, faster this time. Mom, Kendall's voice was sharp now. Why do some of these deposits say personal expense? Kylie frowned. Wait, why are there withdrawals from Dad's account? Bianca froze. Her husband turned to her slowly. What the hell is she talking about? Bianca's eyes darted around the room. I could see it happening, her mind racing, trying to come up with a lie, an excuse, anything, but Kendall and Kylie weren't letting up. You told us you didn't have any money to help with my house, Kylie hissed. You said you couldn't lend me anything when I lost my job last year, Kendall added. Bianca was sweating. Her husband snatched the papers again, flipping through them with wide eyes. Bianca, answer them! For the first time that night, Bianca was speechless. Mark looked at me, his face a mix of shock and betrayal, like he wasn't sure if I had just saved his family or set off a bomb. I met his gaze, and I waited because this was about to get so much worse. The silence in the room was thick, like the air before a storm. Bianca's eyes darted wildly, searching for a way out. But there was none. Kendall and Kylie were both staring her down, flipping through the papers faster now, their minds catching up to what I had already pieced together. Bianca hadn't just been cheating the IRS. She had been stealing from her own family, and she knew it. Her husband Richard was gripping the paper so tightly his knuckles had gone white. His face had turned an ugly shade of red. Bianca. His voice was dangerously low. What the hell is this? Bianca opened her mouth, closed it again. Kendall's voice was shaking. You lied to us. Kylie was even paler than before. You said there was no money to help us when we needed it, but you had it. You were hoarding it. Mark still wasn't saying anything. He just kept looking between me and his mother, like he was trying to solve a puzzle that was right in front of his face. Bianca's hands twitched. I could see the gears in her head grinding, working, searching for a way to take control again. She took a breath and made a choice. Her voice dropped into that tone, the same sickly sweet, condescending tone she always used when she wanted to manipulate people. Girls, sweethearts, you're misunderstanding. Kendall's head snapped up. Don't. Bianca blinked. Don't sweetheart me, Mom. We're not stupid. Kylie nodded. You stole from us, lied to us, for years. Bianca's lip curled. And where do you think you got your nice things from, huh? You think life is fair? You think you didn't benefit from what I've done? Oh, the temperature in the room dropped. That was the wrong thing to say, because now her daughters weren't just angry, they were disgusted. Bianca realized it too. Her eyes widened just for a second, and then she turned to the one person who had always defended her, Mark. She grabbed his hand. Michael, honey, you don't believe this, do you? He flinched. For the first time that night, he looked uncomfortable. I watched his face, saw the cracks forming in real time. His mother was lying. His sisters were furious. His wife had just exposed everything, and Mark had to choose. His voice when he finally spoke was unsteady. Mom, Bianca tightened her grip. They're trying to turn you against me. Mark turned to me. His face was strange. I could see the questions in his eyes, the battle in his head. I stared back. I didn't beg. I didn't argue. I just waited. And then he made his choice. Did you steal from Dad? Bianca jerked back like she had been slapped. Michael, did you? His voice was louder this time, sharper. Bianca's mouth snapped shut. That was it. That was the moment. Because if there was one thing Mark had always believed in, it was his fatherhood. And now his mother was looking at him with guilt on her face. Bianca's silence was her answer, and Mark knew it. Kendall stood up suddenly, shoving the papers into Richard's hands. Dad, look at the last page. Richard flipped to the back, scanning the document, and froze. His face went from red to gray. His hands shook. And then he looked up at Bianca like he had never seen her before. You, his voice cracked. You drained my retirement account? The room went silent. Kylie gasped. Mark's eyes snapped to his mother. What? Bianca's entire face twisted. I did what I had to do. You stole from me, Richard's voice boomed through the room. Bianca flinched. I worked my whole life for that money, Bianca. We built a life with that money. And you, Richard staggered back, breathing hard. His hands were shaking so badly that the paper slipped from his grip, scattering across the floor. Nobody moved. Bianca's eyes darted around, desperate now. I was going to fix it. Stop lying. For the first time ever, I saw real fear in Bianca's eyes. Kendall turned to Kylie. We're done. We're cutting her off. Kylie nodded immediately. Bianca's head snapped up. You can't do that. Watch. And then something crashed. We all turned. Just in time to see Richard gripping his chest and collapsing. For a split second, nobody reacted. Then, chaos. Mark lunged forward. Dad! Dad! Kendall and Kylie screamed. Bianca's hands flew to her mouth, her face a mask of shock. Richard! Richard! I was already on my phone, calling 911. The operator picked up. 911, what's your emergency? I forced my voice to stay calm. We need an ambulance. Now. The next 10 minutes were a blur. Bianca was crying hysterically. Kendall was shaking her father. Kylie was frozen. Mark was pale, shaking, mumbling, Dad, hold on. Please, hold on. And I stood there, watching everything Bianca built fall apart. And knowing this wasn't even the worst part. Because Richard wasn't just a man who had been betrayed. He was a man who had lawyers. And if he survived this night, Bianca was about to lose everything. The paramedics arrived fast. The second they rushed through the door, Bianca collapsed into hysterics. Oh my God, my Richard, please help him. She threw herself forward like a grieving widow in some dramatic movie. But I noticed something. She wasn't touching him. She wasn't holding his hand or brushing his hair back or whispering to him. She was just performing. Mark was the one gripping his father's hand, his whole body trembling. Kendall and Kylie were standing back, their faces pale and unreadable. I just watched, because I had seen this before. Bianca knew she was losing, and Bianca didn't lose. So she was trying to spin the story in real time, shaping herself into the poor, devoted wife, instead of the woman who had just been caught stealing from the man she claimed to love. I almost felt sick. We followed the ambulance to the hospital. No one spoke. I rode with Mark. But he didn't look at me. Not once. Not when we parked. Not when we walked inside. Not when we sat in the waiting room. It was Kendall who finally broke the silence. Mom, what the hell were you thinking? Bianca didn't answer. She was sitting stiffly in a plastic chair, dabbing at dry eyes with a tissue, looking like she had been personally victimized. Kendall kept going. You stole from Dad. You stole from all of us. Kylie shook her head, voice sharp. And you lied for years. Bianca's mouth twitched, and then she turned to Mark because Mark was her last chance. Michael? Her voice was soft, full of fake sorrow. Sweetheart, you don't believe I meant to hurt anyone, do you? Mark flinched, his jaw clenched, and then he turned to me. Not his mother, me. His voice was low. Was this your plan all along? I went completely still. What? His eyes burned into mine. Was this the revenge you wanted? Destroying my family? I felt my stomach drop, hard. Bianca's shoulders relaxed. She had just won him back. After everything, after all the lies, after stealing from him, from his sisters, from his father, after letting her own husband collapse on the floor, she was still more important to him than me. I stared at him, my mouth dry. Are you serious? Kendall's head snapped up. Mark, don't do that. Kylie looked disgusted. Mom did this to herself. But Bianca pounced. She leaned toward Mark, touching his arm, voice gentle. You've always been the only one who really understood me. And Mark let her. That was it. That was the moment. I felt nothing for him anymore. I stood up slowly. Bianca's gaze flicked to me, her smile small and satisfied, because she thought she had won. I let out a small breath, and then I laughed. Bianca's smile faltered. What's so funny? I shook my head. You, Bianca, you're funny. She stiffened. Mark grabbed my wrist. Just stop, okay? I yanked free, and then I let it all out. No, Mark, you stop. Everyone froze. I turned to Bianca first. You treat me like garbage for 6 years. You exclude me, humiliate me, make me feel like I don't belong. And the second I fight back, I'm the villain. Bianca opened her mouth, but I wasn't done. I turned to Mark. You let them treat me like this. His face hardened. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. I let out a sharp breath. Your mother stole from your father, lied to your sisters, and you're still sitting here defending her? His jaw locked. I shook my head. You were never on my side. Not once. And I was done waiting for that to change. I pulled my wedding ring off and dropped it into his hand. His eyes widened. What are you doing? Leaving. Bianca sucked in a breath. Oh, don't be dramatic. I laughed again. Dramatic? Bianca, I just burned your life to the ground in under an hour. Her face twisted. Kendall and Kylie didn't stop me. Neither did Richard. When he woke up and found out everything, he filed for divorce. Bianca lost everything. And Mark tried to reach out weeks later, said he finally understood what I'd been trying to tell him for years. I blocked his number because I wasn't waiting for him to choose me anymore. I had already chosen myself.